talk all the way through it.
Greetings, good morning, and peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I am Ufadoja Agula, Lori L.J. Johnson, and we are here on sacred ground here at historic Sullivan's Island, Fort Moultrie, and we are about to begin with our installation of our two new Omachis that will be installed today here on, again, this sacred ground. We are so very excited to be here this morning to have our dear brothers that are going to be installed and the young ones. I'm just going to turn my camera around and allow you to see where we are this morning and how we are definitely being blessed on today. So this is historic and a phenomenal occasion. Let's see. So come on in, come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to each and every one of you. We have our Queen Mother, and we have, we're gonna let, our ONU is going to begin shortly, okay? So stand by and just be blessed by what is going on this morning. So I'm just waiting until he gives the word. Good morning, greetings, peace and blessing to each and every one of you. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here.
Don't worry about it.
Greetings to you, Ambassador. Welcome. We're about to begin libation. Glad to have you here. Greetings. We're getting set up. So, welcome. Wallale. Wallale.
Morning, warriors of the Carolinas. How is everybody this morning? Great, great. We give all praise and thanks to the Most High. It's always appropriate to begin with libation because libation, in our tradition, extends hospitality, extends welcome, extends honor and greetings to those who are present in this realm and those who are present in other realms. And so it's a tradition for us to offer hospitality. And what they call Southern hospitality is, in fact, Gullah hospitality. We do not allow people to take what is ours and call it theirs. Southern hospitality has always been, if they don't know you, they just might hang you. But Gullah hospitality is when you see the stranger, or when you see the family member, you offer them water, you offer them food, you offer them a place to stay. You see? And so we offer libation because we want these great spirits to stay with us and be with us this day and this life and the next. We together?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to begin. And when I pour the libation to the ground, we affirm that offering by saying Ashe. Everybody with me? Let me hear you say it.
Ashe.
All right. So we begin. In the name of the great one, true, and living God, who, if we live to be 1,000, we can never thank him enough for us being African.
Ashe.
In the name of the great African, who began the march of humankind in the womb of Mother Africa, who traveled up and down the Nile spreading culture, architecture, algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and all of the sciences used to build stone structures. We invite those great spirits to be with us this day.
Ashe.
In the name of the great African who migrated from the northeastern Africa, from the area of Kemet, once called Kemet, then the name changed to Sais, now called Egypt. These great Africans migrated to what is now an area called Ida, Kogi State, Nigeria, establishing the palace of Ata Igala, the king of the Igala kingdom. We invite those great Africans to be with us and stay with us and give us a double portion of their wisdom.
Ashe.
In the name of the great Africans that migrated into other areas and established stone structures, pyramids, from Guatemala to St. Louis. The St. Louis ones called Cahokia. The ones outside of Atlanta being the Etowah Mounds. These great Africans, we invite them to be with us this day.
Ashe.
In the name of Princess Inipi, whose great sacrifice enabled the Igala kingdom to initiate a war we now call the Gullah War, from 1526 coming forward and giving us great victories, and we will talk more about Princess Inipi as the day goes on. We invite her great spirit to be with us this day.
Ashe.
In the name of Shields Green, an awesome brother who in Charleston, South Carolina, was so wise. On the plantation he occupied, he ran it. But when the plantation changed hands, they no longer accepted his wisdom and they began to fail. So he fled from Charleston, joined with John Brown, attacked Harper's Ferry, and initiated the action that caused them to initiate what we now call the Civil War. We invite his great spirit to be with us this day.
Ashe.
And in the name of all the great Africans who have fought diligently for us to be here this day as free men, free women, in the presence of our great Queen Mother, in the presence of our palace princess, in the palace of two great brothers who we recognize for the mighty work they are doing, and for you spirits who are here today. We are so eternally grateful, and we invite these spirits to be with us because we know that there's no power, no force, no combination of powers and forces that can defeat a determined people as we are today. Ashe.
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 All right. At this time, what I would ask for us to gather in, I want to walk through these images that we have before us, these images of these ancestors who are with us this day, before going to the entry point where our ancestors came in. And we didn't come in like we was on a vacation. We fought and we won. We need to know about these victories, because if you don't hear from myself, you don't hear from your great leaders, you don't hear from people like the Queen Mother, and so that we know something about the Queen Mother. The Queen Mother inspired many of us to dig deep and to live the principles of the Nguzo Saba. Y'all heard of the Nguzo Saba, haven't you? All right. The Queen Mother has chanted the Nguzo Saba in such a way it's printed in many of our English books. So here I am at 60 years old, and I still remember the first night I heard her recite it. And so I never got off the path from that day to now. So that's the kind of people that we are. Y'all hear me? Sure. This Queen Mother, the Queen Mother of the Igala Kingdom, USA, who has traveled the world, she is with us today. So we have images of our ancestors, but we also have the divine spirits in our midst. Divine spirits next to our brother, your leader. Divine spirits, these chiefs here among us, so that we be clear. I was chosen to represent Yata in the Americas, and I am thankful for people like whose shoulders I stand on, the Queen Mother and my brother over here. I'm humble enough to say it was her inspiration. She chanted so loud one night I was scared. I said, what in the world? I can't even say those African words. So I had to learn them, and they were all principles that you all are living right now. So I want to share with you the images, because you hear about the pharaohs, but you never hear that that's Gullah history. There are 10 pharaohs in what's called the Abydos kings. Abydos being the first holy land in what they now call Egypt. It was not always Egypt. It was Kemet, it was Sais, and now it's Egypt. This pharaoh, Pharaoh Atta, he's the 4th pharaoh of the first dynasty of the 10 Abydos kings. This Pharaoh Anu, the 13th pharaoh of the 8th dynasty, the present king of the Igala kingdom, traced, and the prime minister traced their families all the way back to here. And so that's how powerful, you hear other people trace their families back to the Duke of Orange and the Earl of this and that, but we can trace our kingdom all the way back to these pharaohs. And so you need to listen to the teachings of Dr. Dan and Dr. John Henrik Clark, who teach about these great men, these great pharaohs, these great leaders, whose wisdom was so profound, till rather than attribute their wisdom to humans, they said aliens taught people to do the things they do. Because the consciousness of the European still has not reached a point where he could receive that we can do these things. So, these great men, these great ancestors are in our lineage. Princess Inipi, I want to go to her. In 1516, it was learned that the Benin king was secretly selling Igala people to the Portuguese. And when the king got the knowledge that this was happening, he assembled the leadership, his council, and said, we're going to go to war against Benin. Call the priest. Let's find out what will happen if we go to war. The priest came. The priest said, let me check. He prayed and got the answer. Answer was, if we went to war against Benin, they would defeat us and sell all of us into slavery. The king said, that can't happen. What's the next plan? So what he did was he went again and sought an answer from the Creator. And it was told to him, the only way for us to win would be for the king to sacrifice Princess Inipi. The king said, I ain't about to do that. That's my only daughter. Her name is Inipi Omar Feda Baba. Inipi, the beloved daughter of our father, the king. So he stopped eating, couldn't sleep, was worried. So the princess couldn't get him to tell what was wrong. So she went to the priest. And the priest told her that in order for us to defeat the Benin kingdom and to end the troubles that we are having, it would require that you be sacrificed so that we would win. So this image is of her thinking about what she has to do. So she called the assembly and told them I would gladly sacrifice my life in order that we not only win, but those who have been taken shall be free. 10 years after that, because many of us ended up at the island of Hispaniola. So there was a magistrate named Lucas Vasquez alone. He brought 100 Africans to build a colony at Georgetown, South Carolina. And at that Georgetown, South Carolina, Winya Bay, these Africans, descendants of the Inipi, got free within 3 months of being brought there. 93 years before Jamestown, Virginia. Y'all be hearing about Jamestown, Virginia is the place where the first Africans came in. They don't say that. They say the first slaves. Okay? There's more slaves this coming Monday morning than there were then. There are people right now who don't even want to go to work. They get to work, and they'd rather be dead than to be to work. But they ain't going to volunteer to die, though. But I'm just saying. And so, Princess, with her sacrifice, those men who came to win your baby freed themselves. And so the way the story should be told, they defeated Spain. You don't hear them tell that story like that, because these were Spanish forces bringing Africans in chains, and we defeated them in 1526. Coming forward, the next major battle with the European was the Stono Rebellion. This reflects the brothers planning their battle strategy